Okay, hey Kyle, how you doing, man? I've got your work up right here. So let's go and take a look. Yeah, I know it's cool, isn't it? It's so cool to learn new stuff, especially if you've been wondering about it for a minute. So that's awesome. Web internet, make sure to keep all the original images. I've gone through this once. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any questions. Let's see if we can drag my level correction layer into the PSD. Yeah, that's awesome, isn't it? I think one of the things that we could do here, just to kind of avoid this kind of extra step, is once you color correct and make all of the adjustments on the original background image, save it and flatten it and put it in your folder, put it away as a flattened file. Make sure you keep the layered file. But then what you can do is, since you've flattened it, all of the color adjustments will be embedded in the file. That way you can just go ahead and make your crop right on that file, and you will never forget to have to bring the adjustments over. Does that make sense? But it's really cool to be able to bring adjustments to different files. Isn't that awesome? Okay, there were two major changes. The first being I had to change the text size. Yep, sure. And then the second was I had to change the logo. I just was going to say what preferred uh, more on the background when I wanted. Okay, I'll address all of this, but let's go ahead and take a look. So I don't think I really have to bring the GIF up, the GIF file up, because we've got everything we need right here. So in the course announcements, I had requested that students submit a copy of the magazine ad along with the web banner. That way I can comment on adaptation, but I see that the magazine ad has not been submitted, so I can't comment in that regard, just so you understand. Um, okay, so the banner looks great. It's beautiful. It's really, really super inviting. Now, the one thing that I think is this. I'm not sure the logo is working up here for two reasons. Number one, it's grayscale. It's kind of getting lost in the texture back here. And number two, it's in a location that one doesn't normally look at for a logo. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Most people are going to enter the composition right up here, and they're going to start upper right and move left to right, top to bottom. So they're going to see the logo, but by the time they get through the composition, that branding reinforcement might be forgotten. For that reason, I recommend taking the logo and placing it down here. Another reason is because we've got a lot of visual weight over here, and it's a little bit imbalanced. We got more visual weight on the left-hand side than the right. We can redistribute some of that weight by placing the logo right down here. Okay. Then this masked image, I would kind of like move it right up here, maybe right here. Experience something new. Okay. Now, as far as your type goes, the execution, you know how to create an animated type. That's fantastic. But excuse me, right now you're blinking on like this. And that's not the most relaxing thing. It's just this kind of blink bomb, on off, on off, on off. This blinking is more distracting, I think, than it is effective. So my recommendation is to start at a reduced opacity, like 20% or something, bring it up to full, okay, and then reduce it back down. Don't ever let it disappear, though, because you don't want the text to be out of sight for any length of time. In case the viewer looks at that period, they'll miss that information. So start at 20% so it's semi-visible, then bring it to 100% opacity, then bring it back down to 20%, and then just keep that going, keep that loop going. Really slow it down, though. And then we've got a couple of issues with alignment here, because right now we've got excuse me, left alignment for the headline and the promotional call to action, but we got right aligned for the subhead. That's creating some really unusual eye movement. You can do one of two things here. Number one, you can either take the subhead and move it right here and align it with the left margin for the type, or you can take the animation, move it to the right, and align it as such. Okay, I'm probably going to say the best of those two choices would be left aligning the subhead right here. Okay, then you can place the logo right down here. And I think I really think it'll be beautiful. But it's a fantastic job. So those are my comments, and I'd like to see those changes reflected in your final submission, which is coming up quickly here in next week. So go ahead and make those changes. If you want to run this by me again, that's great. You can post it right back in this forum anytime at all. And I'll see it. I'll make comments. But if you do repost, it would probably be advantageous to include your magazine ad as well, so we can comment therein. All right. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Kyle. Any questions at all, please let me know. Thanks, man.